Hey guys, Mike from Wrestling Then and Now. Thanks so much for checking out the YouTube channel and for all your support. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. I have so much content coming up. You don't want to miss anything. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. It really does help my channel grow. Thanks again.
Any good stories about, I don't know, maybe the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, we could talk about?
There is a few good stories from Ken Shamrock. I'm going to jump a week after the story I'm fixing to tell. I'm going to jump to the next week. I get on the bus and I say, "Hey, how are you, sir? Jamie Dundee." And look, he goes, "Yeah, I know." And I told Wolfie, "Ken Shamrock knows my name, bro." And Wolfie's like, "Yeah, you dumbass, because it was the week before when you were drunk and fucked up and laying around the dressing room." But it's one of the greatest stories. And they still, when I saw, you know who Luke Gallows is? You know, Luke Gallows. Him and Colt Cabana and another guy were at an outlaw show somewhere around here, around Evansville, Indiana, where I live. I can't remember the town. I think it was Carmel, Illinois. Anyway, and I just go with Madman Pondo. I just go to the show, which I very rarely do, but I rode with Pondo, whatever, to the show. And they're like, "Holy shit, Jamie Dundee's here." He said, "And you know, one of the greatest stories going around the dressing room is you challenging Ken Shamrock." Said they still talk about this today. And the story goes that, I'll just give a little rough draft. The night before we wrestled, Sunday night, we had to, once every blue moon, Louisville Gardens had to run on Sunday night because the National Guard Army would do something in the Louisville Gardens on the Tuesday. So we would run the Sunday before, to not mess the TV up and shit. We would just run the bill. So very rarely that happened. But anyway, it happened this time. And I have to go back to Nashville to get on the plane to fly to Monday Night Raw because that's where I lived, in Nashville. And Brian Christopher and his partner, Tony Williams, they cut a long story short, they fly this chick in from New York. She's a Gambino chick, and she's got 1,000 hits of ecstasy, 1,000 volumes, and 1,000 Xanax. And they take the chick to jail. The police take her to jail in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Now, Brian's got to figure out how to get this chick out of jail, so his wife don't know or nobody knows. And so they turn around, go back to Louisville, and now I'm supposed to fly out. Well, I talk a lot. People don't understand if they don't know that, but now they will. I talk a lot. So I'm in the cop car, and in the back of Brian's Bronco, and the girls in the cop car, and they take her to jail, and I'm eating ecstasy, and I'm eating volumes, and I'm partying because, and Brian Christopher didn't do drugs back then, so he just keeps feeding me these pills, man. He's like, "Shut up, man. They're trying to get the girl out of jail." And I'm being loud and drinking. And anyway, so all the pills kick in the next morning when they put me on the airplane and send me off to the WWF. All the shit kicks in, man, because I remember waking up and they got me on the monitor with the blood pressure, and the police are beating me in the chest with their mag flashlight. And I come to, and they're like, "I think you had a heart attack." I'm like, I'm a wrestler. I had no damn heart attack. And I come up out there, and Brian Christopher had changed my ticket, and I was 265 miles from the place I was supposed to be. So I start going to the cab drivers, and I got my itinerary. Listen, I need to go to this place, and they will pay you for me coming. And finally, Habib's like, "Come on, get in. I get in, and I'm smoking weed all the way there. We're partying. You're supposed to be there at 9 a.m., and this is like 4:30 in the afternoon. Here comes Dundee, rolling down to the bottom of the building, man. And there is, everybody else is in their big fly rides and their rental cars and limos, and Dundee's in his yellow cab with pot smoke rolling out the window 8 hours late. So it pulls down underneath the damn building where everybody's at. I get out of there, and Jim Ross, he says, "Jim Dundee," he said, "you're late." And I go, "Yeah, it's better late than never, you half a face fuck." And so, sorry, YouTube. But anyway, I said, it's better late than never. And so I tell him, "You need to go pay that cab." So he walks over to the cab driver, and he comes back and he says, "That cab is $850. And look, I started laughing. I go, "So? Pay the man." And he said, "We're not paying that." I said, "Yes, you are." Look, I unzipped my bag, and in my bag is my contract. And my contract states, we, WWF, will pay you a certain amount of money every Monday Night Raw, and we will pay all transportation to and from venue. So I said,
Wow.
"Let's see, you go pay that man." And look, Jim Ross said, "Listen, Jamie, we had you a rent-a-car." And I said, "Well, I didn't find it, so go pay the dude who drove me here." So they paid it, though. They had to pay it. So it's 4:30, and I go into dress, and I thought the right thing to do is to hurry up and get dressed, right? So I get dressed, and I pass out on the floor. Now, I've been in the floor from 4 hours now. I'm 8 hours late, and I'm on ecstasy and Xanaxes and volumes. I should have never been there, man. But anyway, I was. And I had $850 cash bill, and I'm passed out on the floor. And as I start to come to, the first person I see is Ken Shamrock. And he's sitting across, because most people don't realize or know, but in the WWF, you don't have your own dressing room. It's one big, huge room, and we're all in it. But when they do the segments, they say, we're going to the Rock's dressing room. They put the Rock's name on the door or Stone Cold's name. But really, they don't have their own dressing room. We're all in one big room because the agents are coming in, and we're all discussing shit, and we're going over our matches or whatever. So everybody's laying around. Everybody's getting dressed. I've been passed out on the floor for 4 hours with an $850 cab bill. And the first person I see when I raise up is Ken Shamrock. And he's lacing his boots up. And now this is Ken's first day in the WWF. So he probably feels a little weird anyway, coming from that shoot fight shit over to our working business, and he probably feels a little, and he don't really know nobody. Now the little skinniest, ugliest little guy in the business is laid in the floor for 5 hours. And so I sit up and I say, what's your name, boy? He's lacing his, and he looks up and he looks around at people. Now everybody there knows me. They've known me my whole life. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking, oh, this is going to be great. Old Dundee's old kids. So he goes back down and I said, hey, boy. I said, I'm talking to you. What's your name, boy? What are we supposed to call you around here, Shooter Boy? Because, he's got them little shooter tights on. And talking to me? I said, you the only shooter boy I see around here. I said, so I jump up to my feet. I'm up on my feet now. He's sitting down. And I said, what are we supposed to call you around here, Shooter Boy? He says, Ken. And he goes back to lace his boot. I said, Ken. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do y'all know Ken the Shooter Boy? I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ken the Shooter Boy. What are we going to call you around here, Ken? I said, listen, son, I know who you are. I said, Royce Gracie done told me you got a bad knee. I said, shoot on in there and get you some of Dundee, boy. This is the WWF where the big boys play. Come on, get you some of that Ken the Shooter Boy. So he's thinking like, are y'all fucking serious right now? This dude has been messed up in the floor and now he's on me, man. Oh, they're all starting to pop, man. And finally he stands up and I go, oh, big badass Ken Shamrock. I said, you ain't never a damn bully. You're gonna get up, what are you gonna do, beat up Jamie Dundee? You don't want to clear off like that in the WWF, son. I said, I can't believe you, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Beating Jamie Dundee like that's hard or something. And the bro he just sits back down, man. Like, I mean, what's he supposed to do, right? And everybody comes like him, and then we all just go back and just carrying on about our day. And a poor old kid, he just probably thought, man, what is going on here, man? So then the next week when we flew in on the shuttle bus, and I was like, Ken Shamrock, how you doing? Jamie Dundee. And he said, yeah, I know. I said, name. I said, he'll never forget my name. But as dude said, when you meet Jamie Dundee, if someone says to you, do you know Jamie Dundee? And you have to go like this, Jamie Dundee, you ain't never met me. I'm the type of person, man. I am definitely, and it's not really on purpose. It's just how my whole life I've been that way, man. If someone has to think about if they met me, then they have never met me. That's a fact. Many people have said, and I got to thinking, they're probably right.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Robert Redford and James Gandolfini. It was called The Last Castle. Me and Tracy Smothers actually played in it as inmates. And during the filming of the movie, it's crazy when you're in the scene. If you're not in the scene, you got to go up in another little spot, sit. But anyway, cut a long story short, it was 2001 we made that movie. About 2010 or 11, I shoot Robert Redford a message. I think it was on MySpace, so it might have been 2004 or something, right before Facebook. But anyway, I shoot Robert Redford a message, and I said, Mr. Redford, my name's Jamie Dundee, and I played an extra in the movie The Last Castle, and I was just wondering if you remember me. And Robert Redford wrote back, Mr. Dundee, who could ever forget you? Knows my name, dude. I said, well, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I said, but Robert Redford knows my name, baby. So that's when I thought, well, maybe they are right. Maybe I am an unforgettable type of person. But you can take that any way you want it. But he said, who could ever forget you, Mr. Dundee? And I was like, let's go, Robert Redford. Yeah, because, he's a mega superstar, bro. He's way above any wrestler that I ever met. Oh, I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to plug this old good moonshine, man. It's called Old Smokies. This here is, God, it's wonderful. Orange Dreamsicle. And this is the greatest shit and then I have Then I have banana pudding. They have banana, orange dreamsicle, and they have waffles and soup. And then they have they have real fruit like orange slices or pineapple squares, all that soaking in the moonshine, and then you eat. Oh my God, it is on. This shit is so good, man. It's definitely a stay-at-home product. If you're gonna do this, stay home because felonies are in the bottom. There's a lot of felonies down here at this part. But I'll be right back. So I ain't shitting, man. That is so good, bro. Oh, and I'm not drinking. I've been drinking years ago because I saw a video of me drunk on YouTube, and I don't know if people could see themselves drunk like that, carrying on being a moron like that, they wouldn't drink no more. I swear. You don't need a video camera and film yourself being a dumbass, and then you will quit drinking. I swear you will. See, what we do as people is we hide it. We do dumb shit and we put it in the back of our brain and we don't think about it ever again. We don't have to bring it to the forefront. But if you got to type your name in on Google and every time it comes up and you're doing dumb shit and you're tore all up and you're saying things you shouldn't say, you will quit drinking because I hadn't drinking like that.